Good morning, guys. How we doing? Just wanted to come on here real quick to talk about what we got going on. If you haven't been living under a rock, I've been posting nonstop about going to AHR. I'm really excited about it. Be doing a live stream with Chris Stevens from HVACR Videos. So please check his stuff out. And I've never been to this conference before, so I'm really stoked about going. Um, we've been doing videos here late for any kind of control stuff, doing some E2 stuff. um, I wanted to go through some of the stuff that I do have going on. um, for example, I started setting up everything last night and then I just overslept. I was supposed to wake up this morning at around 5:30 and get on Trevor's call, and that just didn't happen. I'm kind of wore out. But so we're gonna go over the CC750, how to connect to that, where to connect everything up on that. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the control stuff, so I mean I do, but I don't think the screens work. XCM25, that's one of the other things, that we're gonna be doing. Um, basically how to connect, troubleshooting stuff, way to program it. Some of this stuff isn't really easy to get into. The XCM, you have to use Wismate, because not when it's integrated with the E2, unfortunately, it doesn't have every single parameter on there. So a lot of times you have to use Wismate in order to actually get into everything that's there. Um, like I said, utilizing Wismate sometimes there's files that you have to download in order to actually communicate with that controller, so everything comes up. So I will be going up. Good morning, guys, and I appreciate you guys coming on so early. I didn't know if anyone was going to be going on because I figured, Saturday they were like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna do anything with refrigeration this morning." Um, so I figured I'd just come on here and see, really just trying to figure out what you guys are looking to learn about. Just get some ideas. I mean, there's hundreds of things that we can go over, but I want to kind of curtail things to what you guys want. You know what I mean? I did a quick, brief intro for the KE2 stuff. Kevin's been working on a whole bunch of E2 stuff. Um, I have an S3C that's all set up with potentiometers and stuff. I'll show you how to connect to that. What else do I got? Some Danfoss stuff. I'm waiting to hear back from to do some RDM stuff. Unfortunately, I don't own a data manager, so I have to get creative with what I'm trying to do. I do have one. I have some RDM stuff, but a lot of times, we can go through the programming on that if you guys really want. Um, I don't know. I know in Texas here they use a shit ton of more, RDM stuff. They do have some stuff up in Pennsylvania and New York, from what I've been hearing. How do I upgrade the software in the E2? Very carefully. Now you can do it either via thumb drive. Are you talking about the firmware, Juan? Because if that's what you're talking about, then we can do a video on how to do that. You can do it via ultrasite, or you can do it via the USB. They do have an option there to upgrade the firmware on there. E2 is a little bit more forgiving as far as the upgrading the firmware. When you're dealing with at least with the 255, a lot of times with the Johnson control or the Danfoss stuff, the older 255 stuff, it was very finicky where you had to, do 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. And, same thing with the E2, but like it depended on like how old the firmware was. Like I had one that I did up in Connecticut where it was 2.2 and I had to end up going all the way up to, it was like 3.5 at that point or something like that. And then had to convert it to, to an E2E, which means I had to go to the four, the version four or something. But yeah, we can do some videos on that. That's fine. Anybody else have anything? And it doesn't have to just be controls. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask. I just figured I'd come on here. I've been kind of MIA. We haven't done a live stream in a minute. So I just wanted to make sure, and everyone still knows that we're doing videos and doing live streams and stuff. It's just, between Kevin's balls deep in a project right now. I think he's got like 3 projects going on, so he's kind of stacked. Yes, I have successfully copied the program using UltraSite, but I have not done the software update. Okay. Um, yeah. What other E2 stuff are you guys looking for? I mean, we the one that's going to be publishing on Sunday is oh my god, no, I feel stupid. Uh, I'm looking. Sorry. Digital sensor controls and digital sensor combiners. Um, that's what the latest video that we're gonna put up there. Um, Kevin has an overview video that he's gonna be putting together. Someone had messaged us on YouTube and they were asking about doing a video on how to you know uh, program and add a digital compressor, I believe. So we will be doing that. Um, yeah. So I don't know if anyone here is going to be going to AHR. I'll be there from. I'm actually flying in Saturday. Uh, so some Saturday, Sunday it actually starts, and then through Monday and Tuesday, and I'll be leaving to Tuesday for back for home. Like I said, I'm really really excited about it. I got some merch in that I didn't think that I was going to get in until almost the end of this month. So we just to show you guys stickers, and I got some iron-on patches my wife's been experimenting with. So if you guys are interested, those should be up on the uh, Advanced Refrigeration Podcast webpage. It should be up there probably, hopefully by February 1st. I'm hoping. Yo yo, like I said, I've never been to AHR. I hear it's a trip. I'll be at the Sporland booth with Chris from I think 12:30 till about 5:30, I believe. We'll be doing live streams all day, or I will be, from 12:30 to 5:30. Um, like I said, I'm really excited. Sporland has a giveaway for a Zoom Lock press. I'll be giving away stickers, and then you guys can enter to win some shirts that I'm gonna be bringing with me. So just come and see me if you guys are gonna be there. I'm really, like I said, I'm really really excited. I don't know, I've always wanted to go, but I never had a real good reason, and now I do. I'm just, man, I'm stoked about seeing all the new technology and stuff. Anything I can do to help, put anything out there for you guys to make things a little bit easier. Um, I got some things working with some CO2 stuff. Um, I was contacted yesterday for that, so I'm really really excited about that. Other than that, man, it's been a trip, man. I really appreciate you guys listening. I really appreciate you guys watching. It really means a lot. Anything that I can do to to help you guys out there. I know some of you guys have reached out to me on Facebook Messenger every once in a while for some guidance on some stuff, and I just appreciate you guys listening, man. Um, but yeah, I don't know if any, like I said, any of you guys want any of the other information for the RDM stuff. Um, like I said, we're just gonna continually just put out these videos. Gonna try to do it out weekly. Um, like I said, between working a full time job, doing the podcast, doing the videos, editing, it's sometimes it's a trip, man. It's just it's a lot of time. So, but like I said, man, anything else? Any other questions? I don't want to waste your guys' time. uh, One, if I had ultrasound on this computer, I'm using my editing computer just because it just goes a lot faster. But if I had ultrasound on here, I would try to put it up there right there. RDM. All right. Yeah, I'll try. Like I said, I have some controllers here at the house. I don't have a data manager. So like I said, I'm going to try to get something put together so I can have access to an RDM. I'm waiting for a blessing and a permission. So Um, as soon as I get that going, having a lot of multi decks freezing up. Um, I need more information. That's extremely vague. I mean, it depends, right? I mean, best thing is to do is always bring any kind of cases back to manufacturer spec. A lot of times, if you have high efficiency cases, having them on a lower saturated suction than what it's actually supposed to be, having it on a lower saturated suction than what it's supposed to be, is going to cause a lot of ice ups. Making sure, I mean, if these are old cases, you want to make sure that they do have the correct fan speeds. A lot of these new high efficiency cases also have they have programmable motors in them, especially Hill Phoenix. In the back, there's a cylindrical cylinder, that looks like it's like a watch battery cover, and basically you can take that off, and there's 4 pins in there that you use a tool to actually program those. I've had a case that was icing up and also not keeping product at temp. The sticker on the actual fan said 1500, but in all reality it was programmed for, I think, 800 or 900. And they'd had a whole bunch of contractors actually looking at this thing, and like I said, I measured the air coming out of there. The saturated suction wasn't too low. You really don't want to go any lower than 2 or 3 or 4 degrees lower, because that's going to affect a lot of things. More ice, forming on these. A lot of these cases are high efficiency, right? So their fins are a lot closer. So it takes um, a lot less moisture, and a lot less problems to actually ice these things up. Make sure that you can, what you call it, that you can just put it back to manufacturer spec. Make sure the airflow is correct. Um, New Husband multi-deck case. Okay, all right. Another. All right, so same cat. So what I need you to do is it an S3C? Are we talking about like a Sam's or Walmart? Because if we're talking about a Sam's or Walmart on these multi decks, a lot of times there is, in the honeycomb. Honeycomb's typically what, 3.5 inches, 4 inches maybe. So in the back, closer to the case, that's where the sensor should be for the supply air. A lot of times in the S3C, in those cases, the sensor wasn't put in properly, so they actually put it a little bit more towards the front. And actually, you can have an 11-degree difference, 8 to 11 degree difference between just that little bit of inch and a half from the back of the honeycomb to the front. And what we found is the sensor was sensing that it was warmer than what it was, so it was trying to pull down lower than what it was. And then on top of it, because it already thinks it's warmer, it already thinks that it's defrosted than what it. I'm sorry. It thinks that it should have been defrosted because it is warmer in that section. So basically, if it hits 48, it's like, oh shit, I'm done. But in reality, the back side of the case, that where the other part of that honeycomb, the air might still be 36 or 38. So you're definitely not going to defrost. So please check that. Yes, please check that out then. Absolutely. A lot of times with those Hussman cases too, if those make sure every single, because you have the individual evaporators, right? Make sure that those fan plenums are down and actually installed properly, because once again, you're not moving that air across there. But yeah, definitely check out that sensor locale. Like I said, the honeycomb will look like this. You pull it down, there's a piece of almost like weather stripping that you pop out, and the whole honeycomb will come down. But make sure that sensor's towards the back. Because like I said, I have a picture somewhere on my phone, and I'll post it later. Where basically I stuck a probe here and a probe here, and I actually had like an 11-degree difference. So basically, that was causing the the thing to run colder than what it was, right? So you're going to ice up a hell of a lot more. And it was also causing the case to go into termination a hell of a lot faster, because it already thinks it's warmer, so it'll do a premature defrost. graph the controller and see how long it's actually going to a defrost, and that will kind of tell you if it's defrosting within 5 or 10 minutes. Then well, shit, that's probably the issue. But like I said, check that out. I've seen that happen a bunch. Every single new case that's come out. We had one store that every single one was messed up. At first our guys thought that the controller wasn't reading right. You know, Novar wasn't reading right, and in all reality, it was sensor placement. That's really what it was. But like I said, if you take probe, if you put like a stake probe and put one up here and here, about an inch and a half apart, maybe 2 inch, you'll see that they're it'll run about, like I said, eight to about 11 degrees was the difference that I had. So please check that out. And like I said, same thing with the knee knocker cases, the Hussmann knee knockers, the ones that are probably chest high. Um, Make sure that those plenums are in place. Make sure the plenums are pushed down, because a lot of times places like that, Sam's Club specifically, they'll pull up the plenum to try to de-ice the coil, and they either won't de-ice it properly, or the other option is they'll leave it pulled up. Were you ever able to tune a CDS valve sufficiently to make up for having a high SST cases? Example, 26 degree evaporator on a lower temp suction group. Excuse me. I don't know what you mean by tuning. I guess to achieve a more accurate saturated, or not to go lower. Some of these stores, because they put these high efficiency cases in, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll actually put the lowest SST case on the low temp header. So a lot of times, so they can raise the suction pressure on the other header that they did the retrofit for. Right, because they have to raise the suction pressure. But if you have one case running at the plus 16 or 18, and then all the rest running at plus 24, plus 26, it causes a lot of short cycling, a lot of EPRs to slam down. Yes, not to go lower. What you can do is put a, I don't know what control you're dealing with. It might be E2. If it is, it's fairly simple to do. You could do a max opening percentage. We had a problem on meat boxes specifically where we had, they kept icing up, and they kept icing up just on one side. And, if you've listened to the podcast before, we talked about TD, and TD affects, the sizing, the expansion valve. So basically, if you have an expansion valve that's sized for 1 ton at a 10 degree TD, and a coil that's sized for 1 ton at a 10 degree TD. And basically now that you have a 20 degree TD, that coil now is a 2-ton coil. So, we had the problem where it was pulling, negative 20 degrees saturated as soon as it came out of defrost, which means the valve was starving. That means the coil was starving. And because all that was happening, it was basically only icing up on one side of the coil because it didn't have enough sufficient refrigerant, because now the coil was oversized. So what can be done is you put a maximum valve opening, or maximum valve opening position. Meat boxes, usually my magic number to start is 35%. I'll put the max opening valve position, at 35%, and then basically play with it at there. If you have some type of probe that has Bluetooth on it, a lot of times you can stand outside the machine room and leave your phone out there, and set the pressure and see what it is. Unless you have another guy with you, where basically you can talk on the phone and say, hey, listen, I'm at 35%. What saturated am I at? Oh, okay, good. And you want to do this right after defrost, because you don't want to end up getting the pressure too high, because at a bigger load, right, you're gonna have more refrigerant traveling into that coil. So you don't want the pressure to go too high where you're not going to be able to pull down the temperature. The other option is you could do almost like a loop sequencer, where basically you would have to install a pressure transducer to actually maintain an actual suction pressure. It can be done. A lot of stores, they don't like doing NITO stuff like that because it's not their norm. So the max opening percentage is the easiest and quickest way to do it without any kind of intensive labor where you have to, run sensor wires or anything like that, or install pressure transducers or what have you. Um, so like I said, max opening valve position, that'll probably do you right. Run them off pressure. Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, that would require, for E2, that would require you to run a loop sequencer. Um, where basically, you're trying, it's basically acting like a mechanical EPR at that point. Typically all the CDS valves that are programmed out there, they're programmed to work off of the temperature average of the cases, right? Where you're trying to maintain a specific pressure, so you would need, the input, right? The suction pressure of the pipe, and then basically, try to, make that CDS valve just to achieve that pressure. We've done that in the past uh, on racks that were trying to maintain a subcooler, where they were trying to maintain the temperature of the temperature, but then the valve would just go all over the place, up and down. So we decided to actually do a loop sequencer where that valve was then trying to achieve that pressure. um it's actually a good one. Actually, we could do something like that where we do a loop sequencer and show you how to link it up to a CDS valve in order to do that. That's a good one. Yeah, you could do it that way too. Absolutely. That must be Kevin. I can't tell because a lot of times it doesn't show the name. Uh, but yeah, there's 20 different ways to skin a cat, right? You can do it, 100 different ways. Sorry, I'm depressed. My crypto is just dying right now. I was about to ask, is it possible to operate it from a transducer? Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm dying slowly. Yes, absolutely. And like I said, there's, like the other guy stated, conversion cell and a circuit control. You do a loop sequencer, trying to maintain that pressure, and then basically have a bypass function from the circuit. So whenever it goes into defrost, it tells that loop sequencer to shut that valve all the way down. Loop sequencer information would be great. Yeah, we'll work on that. You can use loop sequencers for a bunch of different stuff. I had a store up in Albany, for HVAC. I was trying to maintain certain temperatures, um, certain temperature discharge air, because these air handler units had their hydronic heat, hydronic cooling. They had just regular solenoid valves to open up for the cooling, but they had modulating valves for the heat. Well, I needed to be able to control, the heat and the dehumidification. So what we ended up doing was use the static number of whatever I was trying to maintain, for the loop sequencer for the set point. So if I was trying to dehumidify, I would, modulate that heat valve in order to achieve, 78-degree discharge air. But then when I would try to maintain, do heating, then I would, basically it would change the set point um, to 100 and 120-degree discharge air. Then that way, you're not overheating the space, because otherwise, if you would try to dehumidify with 120-degree discharge air, and you'd probably overtake the cooling, and then it wouldn't be able to really dehumidify properly. That's why a lot of these newer rooftop units and stuff, they have reheat coils, but it's not heat. They're not going to run the gas heat. All right, they're basically just going to run the hot gas through a separate coil just to maintain a higher discharge air. Not so much that you're going to overtake the cooling, but just enough to keep the cooling running longer so you can actually dehumidify. Sorry, I get off track really quick. um yeah. Anything else that you guys wanted to ask? We've been on for almost 30 minutes already. um Also cover to do it Kevin's way. Yes, this is Kevin suggesting this. I thought you said I didn't know if you were gonna be up. I thought you were going shopping. I told Kevin I was gonna be doing a live stream this morning. He's like, "I'm going shopping." I'm like, "For what?" He's like, "I don't know yet." So, um, so no, if you guys don't have any more questions or any more requests, I'm gonna probably get out of here. I got some stuff I got to do before this week. Man, like I said, I appreciate you guys listening. Tune in for more podcast coming out. Uh, to Coming out this week is going to be about the new standard on the walk-ins. How basically running a lower head pressure is great for energy consumption, but can cause some confusion if it's not lined out with the evaporator properly. So that'll be coming out Sunday. Another video is coming out Sunday as well. And guys, I appreciate you guys listening. Any other requests, you guys can, email us at advancedrefrigerationpodcast@gmail.com. Go to the website, check out the stuff that we got going on there, YouTube page. Just keep listening, man. That's all we got to do. I appreciate you guys listening. Any other stuff you guys want to hear, please let me know and have a good one.